Okay guys, this is another one by my favourite author, Dr. Seuss. And this one is to say, and to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street. When I leave home to walk to school, Dad always says to me, Marco, keep your eyelids up and see what you can see. But when I tell him where I've been and what I think I've seen, he looks at me sternly and says, Your eyesight's much too keen. Stop telling such outlandish tales. Stop turning minnows into whales. Now, what can I say when I get home today? All along the way to school and all the way back, I've looked and I've looked. And I've kept careful track, but all that I've noticed, except my own feet, was a horse and a wagon on Mulberry Street. It's not very interesting, is it? That's nothing to tell of. That won't do, of course. Just a broken down wagon that's drawn by a horse. That can't be my story. That's only the start. I'll say that a zebra was pulling the cart. That's a story no one can beat. When I say that I saw it on Mulberry Street. Yes, the zebra is fine, but I think it's a shame. Such a marvellous beast with a cart that's so tame. The story really would be better to hear if the driver I saw were a charioteer. A golden blue chariot, something to meet, rumbling like thunder down Mulberry Street. No, that won't do at all. Zebra's too small. A reindeer is better. He's fast and he's fleet. And he'd look mighty smart on old Mulberry Street. Hold on a minute. There's something wrong. A reindeer hates the way it feels to pull a thing that runs on wheels. He'd be much happier instead if he could pull a fancy sled. A reindeer and sleigh? Say, anyone could think of that. Jack or Fred or Joe or Nat. Say, even Jane could think of that. But it isn't too late to make one little change. A sleigh and an elephant. There's something strange. I'll pick one with plenty of power and size, a blue one with plenty of fun in its eyes, and then just to give him a little more tone, have a Raja with rubies perched high on a throne. Say, that makes a story no one can beat, when I say that I saw it on Mulberry Street. But now I don't know, it still doesn't seem right. An elephant pulling a thing that's so light would whip around in the air like a kite. But he'd look simply grand with a great big brass band. A band that's so good it should have someone to hear it, but it's going so fast that it's hard to keep near it. I'll put on a trailer. I know they won't mind if a man sits and listens while hitched on behind. But now, is it fair? Is it fair what I've done? I'll bet those wagons weigh more than a ton. That is really too heavy a load for one beast. I'll give him some helpers. He'll need two at least. Oh, look, there's two giraffes. Grandma's favourite animal. But now what worries me is this. Mulberry Street runs into bliss. Unless there's something I can fix up, there'll be an awful traffic mix-up. It takes police to do the trick, to guide them through where traffic is thick. It takes the police to do the trick. They'll never crash now, they'll race at top speed with Sergeant Mulberry himself in the lead. The mayor is there and he thinks it's grand. He raises his hat as they dash by the stand. The mayor is there and the aldermen too, all waving big banners of red, white and blue. And that's the story no one can beat when I say that I saw it on Mulberry Street. With a roar of its motor, an aeroplane appears and dumps out confetti while everyone cheers. And that makes a story that's really not bad, but it still could be better. Suppose that I add a Chinaman who eats with sticks, a big magician doing tricks, a 10-foot beard that needs a comb. No time for more, I'm almost home. Look at those pictures. I swung around the corner and I dashed through the gate. I ran up the steps and I simply felt great. For I had a story that no one could beat. And to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street. But Dad said quite calmly, just draw up your stool and tell me the sights on your way home from school. There was so much to tell I just couldn't begin. Dad looked at me sharply and I pulled at his chin. He frowned at me sternly. From there in his seat. Was there nothing to look at? No people to greet? Did nothing excite you? Or make your heart beat? Nothing, I said, growing red as a beet, but a plain horse and a wagon on Mulberry Street. Hey, thanks for listening, guys. Good to see you again. Bye.